What is up? Welcome back to Pop Culture Piggies, where I am here to power rank the cast of the Challenge 41 Vets and New Threats after episode 2. Did one of these last week, gonna keep doing these throughout the season. Just a preface for any newcomers here. This is strictly based off of who I am vibing with, who I'm cheering for, will be changing week to week, does not have anything to do with strategic game or physically who's the best or who I think will win. This is just who I like, and we'll keep these pretty short and sweet. Would really appreciate a like or subscribe. Helps these videos get seen. I'll be doing tons of content moving forward for reality TV and all things pop culture. So give a like, subscribe. Would love to chat with y'all in the comment section and hopefully do some live conversations moving forward with some fun guests. So without further ado, let's talk about the cast of the Challenge 41, starting with the new threats. Okay, coming in at number 15, got Jake. Last week had him at 15 as well. So he is actually now in last. Last week there was 16 people. Haven't seen too much from Jake. Seems like a decent enough guy. I still am feeling like this cast is hitting in many ways, and there isn't anyone on the cast that I'm openly disliking. Do have Jake at 15, very quiet. Seemingly will not be a huge focal point of things, at least in the short term, but seems like a decent enough guy. 14. Okay, this one might be controversial. I've got Jeremy here at 14. Obviously, he was a big part of episode 0, a physical specimen, which is not really the type of person that I root for. I'm not finding him to be super entertaining yet. Again, don't dislike him by any means. And if this was winner contenders, I think Jeremy is, top 5 for sure. So a force to be reckoned with. I think we'll see a lot of Jeremy, but just not finding him super entertaining thus far. And it was a quieter episode in episode 2/3. Number 13, Gabe. So Gabe stays at 13. He's been very quiet in the edit as well. Honestly, one of the more quiet people there. The reason I haven't bumped him down and have him at 13 is I'm hearing through the grapevine that Gabe is involved in a lot of mess. There was apparently a scene cut from the episode where Gabe got into it with Will on that bus scene and in the bar as well. So he's involved in some drama. Izzy had stated a couple weeks back on a podcast that Gabe is someone to watch out for on the drama side. So hearing that as music to my ears, I would just love to see it on the episode, and I hope we do get more of that moving forward. Number 12, Tay. So Tay goes up a couple spots from last week. Obviously, she went into elimination. She won the elimination, so kudos to her there. We naturally, when someone goes into elimination, you see a little bit more of them. Seems like a cool person. Seems like someone that was potentially underestimated and proved herself in elimination. I don't really care too much about the physical side, like I mentioned, but seeing more of her and vibing with her warrants a couple spots up for me. So excited to see where Tay goes from here. Number 11, Ben goes up a spot, even though he's not super present in the episodes as well. Transparently, the reason Ben is going up for me is strictly everything outside of the show. He obviously loves being a part of the challenge. He's got his own podcast and channel. He also was listening to my other content on reality realness with 3 S's. So he was in the comments there. He's a big fan. I appreciate that. I root for the fans. not enough to bump him up significantly, but he gets a little slight bump for being a fan and being part of the online community, which I can appreciate. Number 10, Adrian stays at 10. Was obviously the hangnail this episode. I like Adrian. I think she's a fun personality. I like her story. I like how she's got some fight in her. I thought it was definitely bold of her to suggest Michaela being the person to go into elimination, albeit it wouldn't have been against her. But to piss off someone like Michaela this early when the odds were slim to none that she would actually go into elimination, I thought was a bold decision. I liked her dynamic with CT. I thought that was fun, where she's kind of treating CT like the wounded bird. Meanwhile, this is one of, if not the best challenge competitors of all time. So like Adrian's vibe. I think strategically, maybe not the greatest at this point, but excited to see where Adrian goes from here as well. Okay, Lekka goes up a couple spots. Lekka did great in the daily challenge. I think she's got a good head on her shoulders too. Loved her forming the alliance with Dee, Sydney, and Jeremy. And I think Lekka was smart to not go with this idea of putting Michaela in. I mean, Lekka would be essentially the sole person that Michaela would be pissed off at there. So I think it was smart to not do that. I think Lekka is going to be a big, big threat in this game. Physically great, strategically seems to know what she's doing, has played a similar type of game before. So was excited to see a little bit more of Lekka here. Also fellow Canadians, so gotta be rooting for her, and she cracks the top 10 this week. Number 8 stays at 8. America, a little bit quieter from her again this week. I think she is a really fun personality. Excited to see more from her. Liked the dynamic with CT. Did very well. I think 3rd place in the daily challenge. So I think America is someone, when it's super physical, she might not do great, but I do think she is plenty capable strategically and socially. I don't have a good grasp of who she's working with. Obviously, Blue was her tightest ally, and Blue is now gone from the game. So I worry a little bit about her there. I think in some podcasts, Blue had been saying that America was struggling to fit in with the house, and she was a little bit worried for America with her gone. So I have the same worries. I hope her head and heart are in the game, because I do think she is super fun, and we'll be rooting for her because I loved her on Big Brother, and I love her as a personality just in the reality TV world as well. All right, number 7 drops down a little bit. Was a quiet week for Cedric. I stand by that. I think Cedric is going to be overlooked. I really get vibes of like a early season Derek, okay, but with a lot more capabilities when it comes to brains. I think Cedric has a good head on his shoulders. He will do well with puzzles. Derek is obviously a physical specimen, and pound for pound, one of the best competitors. I think Cedric is going to be very capable physically, and more capable strategically and puzzle-wise. So like Cedric quite a bit. Want to see more from him in the coming episodes, but can't drop him too far. All right, up significantly. So Will was last place for me for the new threats last week. I felt like we didn't really know too much about him at all. And boy, oh boy, did we get to know a lot about him this week. I mean, I love a messy man on reality TV. He is super emotional. He's getting into this drama with Bananas and D. He is having an all-time crash out, punching things, breaking things, screaming at people, getting into more fights that we didn't even see on TV. And this is episode 2. They've barely been in the house. I mean, we broke a barrier on the challenge where they're talking about hookups in the hotels, which we never really get on the show. So yeah, I mean, if Will is going to give us this in episode 2, I can't wait to see how he's going to react when he's in some sort of danger. I think Will, casting gold. The fact that he was 16 last week, already up to 6, it's wild. Loving what we're getting from Will after this episode, and just tons of drama there. I pray that this doesn't lead him to be an easy target next week or whenever the next male elimination is. Definitely my worry there. I think physically he's not someone that will go down without a fight, but I want to see him last in this game because we love a crash out can here. All right, top 5, baby. Izzy, so falls a little bit. No fault of her own. I think Izzy had a fine episode. Obviously was not as present as the couple weeks prior. I loved her dynamic with Bananas early on, where she doesn't want to be working with him and is still going to come for him. And but obviously he chose her to be his partner. I think Izzy is, again, someone perfect for this show. She is gorgeous. She is athletic. She's not afraid to shake things up. She's hooking up. She's doing everything you can ask for out of a rookie. And I hope that she is one of the era 5 faces of the show, and we see a lot more of her. Super high on Izzy, but she comes in at 5 here. Justin stays at 4. Love what we're getting from Justin. The dynamic with Derek Chavez is awesome. I think Justin is someone that is super likable. I hope he gets his feet under him and he doesn't continue to be an easy person to call out. That is definitely the worry. If Rogan was willing to call him out, are all the other vets going to want to call him out as well in hopes that it is something physical? Definitely possible. But Justin is a great personality for the show. I like how he's kind of already getting into some mess. I want to see him target Derek C. Like, I want that to be the next evolution of Justin this season. And I definitely think it's possible if he can get some numbers with him. I think that would be a fun retaliation to just go right back at Derek C. and have those two be fighting throughout the season until one gets the other out. So we'll see. Love Justin though. Top 3. D moves up from 7 to 3. Last week I wasn't really vibing with D as part of the Bananas crew. I think what we got from D this episode was a lot more promising to me. Loved D making that alliance with, like I mentioned earlier, Sydney, Jeremy, Lekka. I think D has Will freaking out over her. I think D has more power over Bananas this season than I initially thought. And I definitely worry about what Cara Maria said in this episode about Bananas kind of blacklisting D if things don't go well with their relationship. But loved what we got from D this episode. I think she is a top contender for sure. I think the biggest hurdle for her will be outlasting Bananas. If Bananas can exit the game before her, I think she is the type of player that will vibe with everyone. Like, she is super social, super strategic, very physically capable. The hurdle just needs to be not being targeted because Bananas is still in the house and they want to take a shot at him. And I hope that she does outlast him and then she can kind of go the distance from there. Number 2, Leo moves up from 5 to 2. Love Leo. Loved him on Love Island. Incredible TV. Super entertaining. Super chaotic. Total F-boy. And I mean, we just saw Leo in this episode getting into it with Derek over stealing of a drink. A little bit of background there. Leo himself says that he created the idea of a buy one get one free in his head, took the drink from Derek, and then ultimately there was no buy one get one free. That turns into a big bar fight, which we've been missing the last few years. Leo is just so entertaining. A 23-year-old kind of dumb kid in the house is always super fun, and can't wait to see more of Leo's drunken escapades this season and moving forward. She was 1 last week. She stays at 1 this week. We got Sydney. Loving what we're getting from her. Her confessionals are hilarious to me. I know some people don't vibe with her. She's going to be very, fans are going to be very 50-50. She's going to be a interesting personality throughout the season. Some people are just going to find her grating. I love a dry, sarcastic person like Sydney. She just really is giving me vibes of an Ashley, Amanda, the type of people I love on the show. Marie, she kills it in the confessional. She is underrated physically. I mean, she is a track runner, I believe. I think Sydney is a force to be reckoned with, and I can't wait to see her fighting for her life in the game, because I think she will get loud and aggressive, and I love to see that on the challenge. So it's going to be hard to pass Sydney. I'm going to say it now. Next week, I mean, barring something crazy or her getting erased from the edit, which would be shocking considering her personality, it's going to be hard to pass Sydney for the new threats, but certainly open to it. Now let's go on to the vets. Vets are a little bit more straightforward. There's a little less movement because I have this long history of watching these people, but there will be slight movements. Things will change for sure. Anissa was 15 last week. She's 15 this week. I'm just kind of over it at this point. It's same old season after season, and I respect the hustle. I respect saying yes. You get called, you say yes. But for me as a fan, I just don't know what else there is to see from Anissa. Hoping for more entertainment. I know Ashley can bring out a different side of Anissa, which we saw in All-Stars 4, and based on the preview, we might see that again this season. Just can't say I'm the biggest Anissa fan personally on the show. Aviv, 14 last week, stays at 14. Similar, I don't know what we're getting from her. She is obviously on the show to be a number for Bananas. She's not super active in the edits. She doesn't want to stir things up too much. Physically, she's great, but just not the biggest fan of her. Leroy, 13, stays at 13. Am definitely a fan of Leroy, the person, the family man, the history of the show. But to me, he just doesn't seem like he really has that killer instinct. Love him, but what more is there to see at this point? Again, Cara Maria stays at 12, was at 12 last week. I mentioned it earlier. Loved the line about calling out production and Bananas for removing all of the women that Bananas is entangled with. That was really it for Cara this week. Was a great line, great confessional. But I just want to see the Cara that will be kind of in your face and going at Bananas. I want to see that rivalry and her taking some shots. I know obviously it was a female week this week. There was no opportunity to do that, which is why she's kind of just sticking at 12. I'm flexible on Cara, but I don't know. I feel like it's been a little while since we got the Kara that I personally love. So I hope that's still in there. All right, Naya drops a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the extent of Naya so far has been her talking about her knee being an issue. I wonder if that's going to rear its head sometime in the future, where maybe she gets medically DQ'd, maybe she gets into an elimination where she can't physically compete. But I do worry about getting multiple mentions of her hurting her knee. And she's just really been quiet. I don't know who she's really aligned with. I know she has a connection with Olivia. Seemingly, she was not too happy with Olivia after the first episode. So I just don't know. Naya's been quiet, and I want to see Hurricane Naya be unleashed. But I just don't know if that's in the cards at this point in her life, which is good for her life, but maybe not the best for the show. Okay, Derek moves up a little. I am personally liking what we're getting from Derek Chavez this season. I think the last couple seasons, he performed really well. He socially did really well, and that got him to 2 straight finals. My biggest critique is I didn't feel like we got a lot of entertainment from Derek. And I personally believe, and something I always say on the recaps I do on the other channel, is I would rather get 5 entertaining episodes out of someone than 25 episodes of them just kind of hidden in the edits, in the background, skating by. And if Derek doesn't go all the way to the end of this season, I'm cool with that. If we're getting this side of Derek where he's in arguments, if he's making big, bold moves, if he's turning on allies, that to me is fun. That makes for exciting TV. Not the best gameplay typically equals fun and entertaining personalities on the show. So if Derek ends up going home in episode 3 or 10 and doesn't make it to episode 25, that's fine with me, as long as those 3 or 10 episodes are fun. And the fight with Leo was just super random and petty, and I love it. All right, up a spot is Johnny Bananas. I have to give Bananas credit. I'm not a big Bananas fan, but he is always involved in some sort of mess. Bananas is kind of poking fun at Will a little bit behind his back with D, which I love. And it's like drama surrounds Bananas. And I think some of it is certainly forced, but this was definitely authentic. And similar to what I was saying about Derek, my hope every season with Bananas is give us half a season of Bananas, and I would like him a lot more. I think his shtick just kind of wears out over the course of these long seasons. If a season was 12 episodes and Bananas made it the whole way, I honestly wouldn't mind him. If he went home at the midway point, I think that's exciting. That's what I'm hoping for this season. I want to see Bananas be entertaining for 12 episodes and then go home in a blaze of glory. And then the next 12 episodes are his allies having to thrive or fight for their lives without him. Like, I want to see a Leroy or a D or an Aviv have to scramble and play the game without Bananas. That to me is super fun, but I give him a ton of credit. 25 seasons in, and he's still a focal point of drama in the house. So moving up a little. Nani, she was 8. She stays 8. I'm excited about what's to come with her being single Nani back in the house, kind of playing for herself, no Vacation Alliance. We didn't get too much from her this episode. I'm a Nani fan, and I couldn't bump her down or move her up much. It has been pretty quiet, but definitely excited to see Nani get into it with some people this season. Derek K moves down a little bit. Like I was saying about Ben earlier, I really appreciate someone that is involved in the community and really cares about the show and wants to be there. I think Derek wants to be there more than anyone. Not a great episode for Derek, obviously. I mean, when you've been doing this for 20 years, 15 seasons, you're a 3-time champ, like the expectation should be that you are able to figure out these games and you show some signs of improvement. And we saw Bananas do pretty well. We saw CT did really well here. Anissa did solid, if I recall. Nani did solid. But the fact that Derek can't perform in any sort of puzzle memorization, and it's been this long, he still hasn't really improved. I got to knock him a little bit. And even though I say I don't really care too much about the challenges, he didn't really give us much else this episode besides that. He called himself the LVP here. So while I like Derek as a person and personality on the show, and I love his drive, I mean, we got to see some improvements because it is a little embarrassing. 6. Okay, CT moves up a bit. Kind of the reverse Derek here. I think CT was able to prove that he might not be in the best shape, but he still has the mind for the game. He is able to pick up on some of these tricks. Like, he is really good with puzzles. I mean, well, his body isn't what it once was. His mind is still sharp. I think he's really good at being that wounded bird that I mentioned earlier. Like, people gravitate towards him. They want to work with him. I think CT is really good at playing that game, and I got to give him some credit there as well. Theo moves up a little bit. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Theo. I am really in on this Theo and Olivia versus Bananas kind of storyline. So, well, it wasn't like the biggest episode for Theo. Still loving what I'm seeing there. I'd say I'm probably rooting for Theo and Olivia to have a pretty solid run here. Michaela was 4. She stays at 4. Love Michaela. Huge fan of her on Survivor. Loved her on USA. Hoping for a longer run from Michaela. I loved this scene of Adrian saying, let's consider Michaela as an option. And I think it just flashed Michaela, and she was just sleeping on a couch in the bar. Michaela is just a really fun personality. You do not want to mess with Michaela. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Would love to see a little bit more of her maybe involved in some drama. And I think that will come when she feels targeted. But I just love Michaela. Top 3. Olivia was 3. She stays at 3. Like I said with Theo, I'm really all in on this Olivia and Theo and the UK alliance versus Bananas. I love the mindset that she's come into this game with. Definitely rooting for her, which I can't say was the case the last few seasons. I think Olivia, without all of her people, is just a really fun change. She's not deferring to Michelle or Nerys or whoever, Horacio, to make moves. Like, she is making the moves. She is the godfather here, and I really dig in that side of her. Again, Turbo was 2, stays 2. Won the daily this week. Didn't do anything to bump himself off the top 2. I mean, I was dying at the scene of him giving the present to Bananas, and it's just a little toy giving the finger, bobbling up and down. We're getting these like little tidbits from Turbo that are just so funny and a different side to him. Last week we saw him in working out wearing the "You cannot copy my walk" shirt. Now we see the gift to bananas. So we're seeing Turbo lean into this funny side. And people are obviously gravitating more towards that. And then episode 0, we see him holding hands with bananas running up the mountain. So I think Turbo is honestly setting himself up well to go further this season than he has in past seasons, and or at least to be targeted the past few seasons. And there is still that side of him where he can snap at the blink of an eye. So that will come. I am absolutely positive of it. But for now, he's just been fun. He's competing well. And I just love having Turbo back. Ashley was one, stays one. Similar to what I said about Sydney, it's going to be hard, transparently, to bump Ashley off this one spot. She has not been super involved in the edit. We know there are going to be fights coming. We know Ashley can pop off at any time as well, similar to a Turbo. So transparently, she's one now. She was one coming into the season, and she's only going to get more entertaining as the weeks go on. So it's going to be hard to pass Ashley at one. She could always get eliminated, and then there'll be a new one. But Ashley is just one of my absolute all-time favorites, and they need to give her more in the edit. So production, shame on you for not having Ashley more present. She gets confessionals. They almost always slap. She is involved in some of the dynamics, but I want to see more about what Ashley is up to in the house, because I just love her so much. And that is what we have for you. So I am really having fun with this season. I got to say, this season is awesome so far. Great 3 episodes. I'm super optimistic about the rest of the season. I think the new threats are almost all of them are hitting. I think that they really came to play. They came to bring it entertainment-wise, and I absolutely am loving this season so far. I'd be shocked if it went downhill at this point almost, barring some really unfortunate elimination boot order. So fingers crossed for more fun, and looking forward to doing more of these as well. Like I mentioned, you can also check me out doing weekly recaps right after the episodes on Reality Realness with 3 S's over with Chantel and Michelle. We have a really good time there, but like and subscribe here. I want to do a lot more challenge content, a lot more reality TV content, Survivor, Big Brother, Love Island, all the fun stuff, Traders. So be on the lookout for more coming here. And I also talk a lot about TV, movies, and sports, specifically football, which is just a few weeks away. So if you're into any of that stuff, it's going to be a lot more of that come September and into Oscar season. So in TV season starting in September. So would love to have you along for the ride. Like, subscribe. Really appreciate any support, and we'll keep these videos going. But looking forward to the episode on Wednesday, and can't wait to do more of these in the future. You can follow me on Twitter as well, at @TheRealPDog. I'll post my handle in the comments, but leave a comment. Let me know, who are your favorites this season? Give me a top 3 favorite vets, top 3 favorite new threats. We'd love to hear who others are vibing with, and we will catch you next time.